All right. Well, let's get into it, team. We're 4 minutes over, so we may as well get into it. GM, one and all. Welcome to our all-team tactical meeting. And so we're going to use this time to prioritize our work for the next week, eliminate blockers, and also just see what everyone else has been working on during the week. So first, I will take a quick attendance. Links. Blue Bear. R. Christy. Tom. NF Thinker. Ghost. Winverse. Coffee. Crusher. Obsky. Corrupted Pineapples here. And Rainus is here. Rainus is in the audience for some reason. All right. Well, GM took that attendance. Lag metrics, we have plus $75 in transaction volume, so not a lot compared to last week. That is something I will talk about a little bit later. On our lead metric side, this is what is going to push the needle on the metrics above. We have 5 new users, 2 communities deployed, so this is plus 0, although we have 1 in the works. We have 7 returning users, so this is probably our biggest weakness right now, is our lack of returning users, and 0 new money in the multi-sigs. Well, we are going to be getting that Gatecoin grant round pretty soon, so hopefully next week that'll be good. On the team-wide announcements, dust off the strategy and playbook. I also did not dust off and Asana and the meeting notes. All of these need to be updated based upon our new strategy, so I will try to work that as I can. I don't see any new contributors, so I'll move right down into the milestones. And remember, we're aiming to create revenue. So our next milestone now on the product side is to get 1,000 weekly transacting users. So this is for myself and Tom. On the rewards flow side, Tom updated the visual look of rewards on the homepage in the app. You can go to the staging app to check that out. In beta testing, we have the rewards flow. We started to test it. I would say that there's still some issues, but there's also some more happy paths. This is mainly around connecting different wallets and using different platforms. So we're going to be working on this continually as we go. We're also starting a spreadsheet to calculate monthly rewards per user, and we're going to have a separate public spreadsheet which actually will list how much transaction volume we get in a given month and how much rewards we get per community, and we're going to share that publicly. The intent is that we are sharing exactly what we're doing publicly. You know, that is part of what makes us different from another card, another service, right? Eventually, we're going to need to get this as part of our messaging. How bCard makes money. This is an article that is on my list. Actually, I started writing it, I haven't finished. But yes, in general, we need to really be clear about who we are and how we operate, because that is our differentiator. The differentiator is that we're not maximizing on money. We don't have a ton of capital. We're a scrappy team who is just intending to share whatever we make. That's part of our proposed positioning and messaging. So we're going to be working on that as part of the rewards flow. Down to the SUS, this is our system usability score. We're currently, I can see you corrupted. We're currently gathering info from beta testers, so beta email went out. Thanks for that, Blue Bear. So we're going to be gathering the system usability score. In the long run, we're going to try to make this something that almost automatically gets created. Anything else to say on that, Blue Bear?
Just in the last 24 hours, we had 5 people respond to that SUS score. We have a 79.5 average among those initial 5 individuals. From everything that I read, anything above a 68 is kind of average, or above 70 is good. So I think, right off the bat, I think we can pat ourselves on the back. Looks good right out of the gate at this point.
Not bad. Yeah, so that's exactly what we were hoping for, is to spend that time on our UX so that we could have a high system usability score. And I would also say that it's probably a little bit higher than actual, because most of these users have probably been using bCard for a couple of weeks already, and typically, or maybe even longer than that, and myself included, right? Like, I was one of those 5 respondents, right? And so I think that it'll probably be a little bit lower, but not a bad place to start. On the noun side, Oh, and just FYI, our goal for SUS is to be above 80 goal, above 80 for new users. So in general, as a user uses your system longer, SUS score will go up. So we want to have above 80 for new users, and that will show us that our UX is actually good because new users also find our system easy to use. So that's the goal for us. We're working on this as we go. Nouns bug.
I have a question before you run. Are we planning on sending that out so many weeks after new users get their card and then again, or do we have
the intent would be, and this is part of a little bit more investigating our funnel. This would be part of our funnel. So after a user, if we can identify that kind of user journey, which we don't really have, we have something in Google Analytics, but it's not enough of what we need. What we're going to need to do is when the user creates a card and then loads that card and then spends money on that card, and then potentially even, I'm not sure about this yet, but potentially even claims or accumulates some rewards, that's the moment we want to send the email. So basically, we want to send it probably before they claim rewards, but after they make their first couple of spends. So the idea being they've gone through the process to get to the point where they're spending money, and if we can get them to do that easily, if we can optimize that SUS score, then we like the idea will be to automatically send the user an email when they achieve those milestones. Does that make sense?
That totally makes sense. Yep. Thanks.
All right, yeah, and so that goes a little bit towards the investigating our funnel. So we only had 75 in transaction volume last week. So why aren't people spending more? This is something that we're really going to need to understand. This is honestly the core question in our product. How can we get people to spend money on our product, right? And so if they're not spending money, right, for whatever reason, we need to figure out why. So this is where we have to put on our product hats. First, we need to set up visibility into our funnel via transaction activity. This is something I'm going to be working on with some help from Tom. And then next, after we get that, we're going to create some hypotheses and set up some one-on-one user meets to delve into this a little bit deeper. So that's kind of the intent behind that. Remember, our goal is transaction volume. So if we have something that's breaking that funnel, we need to understand what. And so that's where we're at, and that's I would say the main focus of the product workstream, aside from the rewards flow. So when we get the rewards flow complete, that'll be the most important thing. But I would say Tom is mainly working on the rewards flow right now, and I'm going to be probably spending most of my time on investigating the funnel. We also had a nouns bug. 6 users get the wrong cards. Not so bad. Currently working with them to get new ones. 2 of the 6 of them are done. So that means two of the 6 of them are happy with where they're at right now. All right, moving on. We have set up our content funnel. Rainus and Coffee Crusher, how's this going?
So content funnel. So do you want just an update of kind of where we are? Sorry. I mean, we're gearing up for the public bCard launch. I know Rainus is working on sort of version 2 of the video. The subscriber emails getting ready to go, get ready to launch at the same time. So it's kind of like our kickoff, and then the socials will be after.
Yeah, I'm working on.
Sorry, Rainus, I can barely hear you.
Oh.
Now should be better. Yeah, as I said, I'm working on the launch video, polishing it up so it can be ready for posting. March has posted the draft of the launch email. I think Coffee reposted in the content. We had that little mishap with quarantines and stuff over the weekend. And also I'm adding text for the Nouns partnership video so it's more dynamic, and March is writing a voiceover for it. That's what's currently happening in the content generation part of our ecosystem.
Okay. We have set up our community funnel. I added these updates, NF Thinker. But yeah, maybe you want to give an update on this. Actually, you know what I just realized, NF Thinker, is that you're actually supposed to be leading this meet. You want to take over from here?
Yeah, sure, I can do that.
Cool.
So in terms of, let me bring these notes up in front of me. In terms of community funnel, yeah, so we're putting final touches on Origin Dollar DAO. I have a meeting with them on Monday. It's their we're being introduced to their community, so we're gonna join their community call and basically pitch them bCard, let them know what we're doing. So hopefully we'll have them fully integrated by the end of this week. In terms of wider funnel, you gave me some contacts in Farcaster. I believe there were 2 community group chats that were created, one for food and the other for trees, right?
Yeah, there's another one who reached out to me this morning, and I just basically sent them directly to that tally form. Because I didn't know if you wanted the group chats or if you would prefer just to have them fill in the funnel, if you wanted a direct connection. Or, anyways, so I sent the one today directly to the tally form.
Yeah, I think probably the best way to do it, and this goes for everyone out there, if a community wants to partner, you can create a group with them and me, and then the first message in that group say, go ahead and fill out this form and let us know here when you've done it, and then you can set up a meeting with NF. So
Right.
I think that would probably be the best the best way forward. Okay. So yeah, next up we have raised 200,000.
Oh wait, before that, I just wanted to let you know, NF Thinker, that last night, the Hire Collective, that they're I would say the second most popular meme coin on Farcaster. They said that they are deploying capital to builders. If you're looking for funds to build on Hire, fill out this or use Hire in your product. Fill out this form to get the request in front of the collective. I thought that might be part of the community funnel slash grant raising. So I put it there.
Okay. Yeah. So, are you suggesting that we actually integrate Hire as a rewards token?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, we could talk about it later, but I thought I would just mention it.
Okay. All right. So yeah, on to the next one. We've raised 200,000. In terms of GG20, they did release their announcement yesterday, and the funds look pretty much the same. I can't remember exactly what it was that we had, but we don't have any more than $1,450 or whatever it is. It's somewhere in around there. I did not see a date as to when they're actually releasing those funds. But now that it's been ratified, I would imagine it's going to be pretty soon. So we'll be receiving that, and that will be going into our Arbitrum. So that's good. We've now got we now have funds in our traditional bank, Optimism, ETH, Base, which is NOGS essentially, so no other funds other than just the NOGS and Base, and Arbitrum. So we've got quite a few different sources of funding right now. Orange DAO and Alliance Accelerator are still in the works. I'm nearly done with Alliance, and that's due today, so I need to get that in. I tagged you links in the Grant Squad stream there, the Grant Squad channel or thread, and there are a couple questions that they've added on, which are personal to you. So you're just going to have to answer those in your best way. And then I have also linked. Oh, I meant to link to the page that I'm working on. So I'm going to do that in that thread as well, so you can see exactly what I've been adding on. It's pretty similar to what we did before. I've just been adjusting it to update some numbers, update communities, progress, and remove anything that says bankless except for bankless DAO. Orange Alliance, Orange DAO is, there are only 2 questions that we need to answer. And so you gave me some good feedback on the ones that I answered before. I think those 2 questions are good to go. The only question I've got is, should we update our deck? I mean, the obvious answer is yes. I just don't know how much we can do on that between now and the 31st, which is Friday. So we, at bare minimum, I can just go through and replace everything that says bankless card with bCard. But ideally, we could spruce up some of the numbers. So yeah, I don't know how we should continue with that right now. If people want,
we can use our POC. We can use our POC one for now. It's due today for Alliance, or it's for Orange DAO.
Alliance, let's see, do they even ask for a deck? I don't think they ask for a deck at all. No, they don't ask for a link to a deck at all.
Okay, so it's for Orange DAO. So we have a couple things. I think in general, like, we should try to not spend too much time, effort on these accelerators, since we haven't gotten a lot out of them in the past. So I would just say dust off the POC deck, create a new version of it, add the latest information, and ship that one.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Okay, so
as for Alliance, I will make sure that I answer those questions right after this meeting. I did see that you posted them.
Okay, that's cool. There is also a question of, on Alliance DAO, they're asking for our funds and runway. So funds, I was able to calculate that by adding up the multi-sigs. I actually forgot to add in the Arbitrum multi-sig, so I can do that as well. But it asks what our monthly burn is and what our runway is. I put down $1,000 monthly burn, even though it's currently less than that, but could be potentially.
Arcosy, maybe you can look over those numbers. In general, I think we should do it for our POC. I think like we have the cash flow for the POC. That's not all of our funds, but we kind of said, okay, we're going to do a 30K POC execution. I think maybe we should use that for runway. I don't know. What do you think? Because it's just not going to fit.
Christy, what do you think on that?
It's kind of, well, I mean, because the actual, like, the numbers that we have, or what we're spending is pretty low, but like, it's kind of hard to figure out how that would fit into what their expectations are. So, I mean, do we kind of go with like what the actual numbers are and let them digest that, or do you kind of like make it like what would be more like what it should be? Because like right now, based on what we're spending, our runway is quite a bit, but in reality, it's maybe a little bit less than that.
Yeah, our runway is like 3.5 years, but that's with nobody actually getting paid.
Yeah, exactly. And it's also with us not issuing cards, which is like not true, right? Like as soon as we start issuing more cards, it's going to be way higher, right?
Yeah, because I mean, right now in the model, that's like the biggest variable expense is like when you start issuing cards, and then issuing cards should mean that more revenue is coming in, but then we've got the kind of the issue with like, well, how much revenue are we actually getting in, from a card? Because that I think needs to be right. Right now, there's a difference between what the expected amount is and what the actual is.
Yep. So maybe we'll talk about this. Maybe we can talk about this at the either at the end of this meeting, or we can talk about it at the ops meet tomorrow too. because I don't want to delve too
Yeah.
deep into this.
Well, I do have to submit
Yeah.
it today for Alliance.
Okay.
I
So let's try
can
to.
I can just submit some basic numbers, or we can have a quick chat after the end of this meeting. The other thing is I can only enter numbers. I've just tagged it in the chat here, and you'll see that I can only enter numbers, no dollar signs, no extra text, no commas. It only allows decimal points, so I can't add in any extra information around the current burn and why it is so low, etc. So. I think, as long as we can just fill in a number there that seems acceptable, that'll be good enough. Okay.
Cool. Yep.
So next up, we have deployed our new brand. Links, how is this going?
Yeah. So we have a couple of outstanding things, and honestly, I should probably just spend like a week working on this. It's just not the most important thing right now. And so no progress this week.
Okay. Okay. So that leads us to our task perspective over in Asana. So we'll head over there. You okay sharing your screen with that, Links?
Yep.
Okay. So starting up, we can go for our role salaries, and that is going to be, what is our ISO?
22.
42? 22.
22.
22. Okay, so right. So I will go ahead and ask the questions. Links, did you do 5 hours of work this week?
I did, and also for ops.
And also for ops. Okay, perfect. Product work stream lead is still blank. Rainus, did you do 5 hours of work on bCard this week? bCard?
I'm currently doing editing.
I'm going to mark that as a yes. I also did.
Yes.
Tom, did you do 5 hours of work this week at least?
Yes, sir.
And Coffee Crusher.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so that's all good. So next up in our inbox, we have partner NounsDAO. So Nouns has actually been launched, and we were waiting on. So we obviously need to get to 1,000 users. That's one of our next things. We don't have that quite ready yet. The New York City video, that has transitioned into the animation, and the animation is nearly done. So, Rainus, how is that video going?
Work in progress. I'm adding the text. Much doing the voiceover. Oh, work in progress.
Okay, working on adding text and voiceovers. Okay, that's all good. And then in terms of the grant, we're still waiting on that. We want to increase our usership, make sure that we've actually got enough people on there who have seen it and used it, who will then support it. So next up in our inbox, we have this grant community for Hire Collective.
I'll take that on. Basically, like I met a bunch of them at FarCon, so if I respond under my name, it's likely that we will get more of a response. So I'll take that on. But basically, I think it would be great. It'd be great brand alignment for us.
Okay. Yeah, I think it would be great brand alignment as well. Hire is one of those brands that has a lot of support within Farcaster. As you said, probably the second most popular meme coin community out there, and it's people are really rallying around it because of the brand, less so because of the price, the token price. Like Ted Not Lasso was posting recently saying we shouldn't focus on the price, and that brought up this interesting conversation between people saying, well, the price of the token is kind of correlated to the community, but how do you value a community aside from the price? So yeah, that it's fostering good conversation, and I think that would be a good brand to be aligned with for sure.
Yeah, I think like we're releasing. So we have bank, right, and we have like nouns, which is like a, let's say, like a different kind of community, and then we have this like stablecoin community coming out. I would say that if we are to release like a quote unquote meme coin community, like either Hire or Degen is the one that we should probably, either Hire, Degen, or Gloom are the ones that we should probably release first, versus all these other ones that I put into your inbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. All right. So next up with milestones and goals. One goal is to have 1,000 weekly transacting users. So, how are we doing on that?
Yeah, so I mentioned it before in the product side that essentially, I mean, we essentially go through all of these in this weekly all hands when we go through this, right? Um, but our goal really is to investigate our funnel. So basically, our two things here are rewards flow and investigating our funnel. Those are the top two concerns that we have under this milestone.
Okay. So, you want me to log that anywhere in here?
It's okay. It's in the meeting notes. In general, I count these milestones usually as what we discussed in the meeting notes.
Okay. All right. So we've set up our community funnel. This is, I wouldn't say done, because we do have some, let's see, let's go just rip through the success criteria, have a way to track communities in our process, CRM or something similar. We don't have a CRM, but now that we have our own Notion, maybe we can create a CRM in there. One of the problems with having a Notion CRM is that it's gonna be public depending on our settings. I don't know. Can we create private pages on our Notion?
Yeah, we can. The only thing is that to save money, I kind of just bought I have a single like admin, which is me, so I can create that for you if that's what you want. That's no problem.
And then just add certain people as viewers and editors, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So what we have in the Notion right now is just a public section, like it is published to web and everything like that. And what I can add is like a private section.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of those things where BDAO was toying with some CRMs, and we didn't really agree on one, which is fine because BDAO side of things has kind of tapered off. But that tooling could potentially have been used for bCard. So there are options out there, but if we can continue doing it in a free way, that would be fine as well. Notion is sort of up to the task. It takes a lot more manual tracking of tasks, but also we're already paying for it, so I don't think we're ready to graduate to a full CRM currently. So yeah, if we can get that done, create Notion. Oh, I can't type today. What is going on? Notion CRM. Okay. Right. And that's going to be assigned to links. Right. And other things on the community funnel, a way to prioritize. We're just doing that manually currently, figuring out who's better, like we just discussed for our meme token communities. A way to measure success for each community launching and ongoing. We don't have a way of measuring those successes quite yet, but we'll be building those as we move on and actually see some results from each different community. Make it as easy as possible for communities to find success on our platform. And again, that's going to be something that's ongoing in terms of our outreach, making it easier for customers to use the product, etc. So these are still kind of ongoing. In terms of the community intake form, that's all done. The only thing we need to figure out there is templatize requirements from new communities, and this is going to be me, and we're going to add in things like criteria is brand kit logo, description, token, etc. We'll have to continue as we go through that templatization. We'll figure out exactly what it is we need. So that's where we are in there. Next milestone is we've set up our content funnels. So let's see, can we get an update from that, Renus?
Uh, yeah, we talked about this in the all team, the start of the call. We're currently only focusing on the launch and partnership announcement. We have 2 videos and 2 emails in progress. And of course, the tweet threads from Coffee Crusher. So all focus is on the launch currently. And I guess through trial and error of making content, we will develop our content funnel as well, just by doing it.
Okay, all right. Next up, we've raised 200,000 K. We talked about this in the meeting notes earlier. In terms of patron funnel, this is something that we haven't quite set up yet. We've discussed, but haven't moved forward with anything specifically yet. That would be a potentially creating a Nouns DAO style of daily auction where people can join up and become a patron down the line. Nouns Prop House, again, that's been pushed until we have some more traction. Okay, proof of concept launch campaign. Again, this is something that we've pretty much just talked about in terms of the content funnel. So we're working on 2 videos, releasing 2 videos. Another thing that I had talked about doing was adding a campaign to get people to do the Noggles filter on Instagram, and that I would be tipping 100 Nogs for everyone who does that. So that's still something that we can launch. Maybe we can finalize that tomorrow and get that working. Then I'll be able to tip everybody who does it. So Noggles.
And I have one thing.
You.
Sorry, while you're typing. Go ahead.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So the June 5th, I don't want to call it AMA, but Spaces event with Nouns. Do we have a confirmation?
No confirmation yet.
Okay, so I guess once he approves, I think we'll have to push it out. I mean, because where are we? We're the 29th. So we might have to push it out. But I guess let's get him to confirm to do it, and then maybe we should push it out to something like the 12th or something.
Okay. Yeah, I can DM him. He does miss out on these group chats sometimes, so yeah, I'll see if he can. I'll ping him again on that. Okay, so anything else on that, Coffee Crusher?
No, that was it. That was it. It was just the because that's part of the whole. So there's the bCard launch, which is going first, right? Like the public launch, which is what Ramus and I are working on. Then there's the Nouns announcement launch, which will include the Transcendent video that Ramus is working on. Email announcement to the community, so it's to our subscriber list, and then coinciding of that same week, hopefully will be the Nouns AMA, or the Twitter Spaces.
Okay. Okay, second it's now and an email. Okay. Great. Okay, so I've added those comments in there. So next up, we've deployed our new brand. We already discussed this. This is currently on hold. So on hold until POC launch settles down. Great. So next up, in terms of projects, external documentation for the website. Links, this is assigned to you. Do you have any updates for us on that?
So, in general, we have two articles that Corrupted's working on, one for PCI compliance, and another one for the ad funds flow. The PCI compliance one, I just took a look at it yesterday, and I left you some comments. I think in general, Corrupted, we should just put that PCI compliance stuff in the how bCard safeguards your data article.
That's what I was feeling as well.
Yeah, okay, so let's do it like that. But yeah, in general, I think we're going to I think we're going to be updating this as we go based upon user feedback. So it's not necessarily going to be these articles that are the most important, but yeah, that's what we got right now.
Okay. Good stuff. In terms of on-chain goodies, so I got into Manifold the other week, and then it eventually logged out. So it turns out that all the ENS names that were added to our forum have to be converted to 0x addresses. So I went through and converted about a third of them. There were about 110, 115 that I had to convert. So I converted about 35 or something like that. And I need to continue and go through to convert all the rest of them. Once that's done, then I can upload the CSV, which will be our allow list for people to actually claim that token. And that's going to be everybody who has filled out the email form, who added their ENS, everybody who has subscribed to the email, who added their ETH address or ENS, will then be able to claim a subscriber NFT. And that's going to be on Optimism. So, yeah, still currently under the work in work. More to come on that. So blocked waiting feedback. Gitcoin GR20 is still blocked. We just need to wait until the claiming process starts. Announce prop house again. Currently blocked until we can onboard more users. Up next for this week is, let's see, in terms of Nouns DAO, we've covered this already. Hire Collective, we've talked about that. Origin Network. So we are adding. How are we doing on that side of things?
So personally, I think that once they're able to review sort of the implementation, we have them as a selectable community and a rewards issuable community. And we should be good to take it to production at that point and have them start being able to have their community be chosen and sort of rewards be accrued. I think that the next steps for me are to issue the staging contract for testing, so we could run some testing against the contract address on Arbitrum, and probably that'll happen before the end of the week this week. But I think that probably that shouldn't be a blocker to taking the community to selectable on production once they sort of approve the implementation.
Okay, so in terms of approving the implementation, that's literally just the text that's in the community selector.
Yeah, you got it. It's mostly just approving that copy, making sure we didn't typo anything, or it's not exactly what they want to represent themselves as, and making sure that they're not going to be like, hey, you made our stuff look ugly, or something.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I'll send him a screen grab of that and have him check that over, and I'm sure he'll get back to us ASAP and say, yeah, let's move forward. It would be good if we had it ready to rock by Monday. People could download it.
Yeah, it's at this point, it's just a matter of me flipping one toggle and then a push to production. So it should be pretty easy to deploy when they give us the green light.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Alliance Accelerator, we already talked about that. Gonna finish that up and submit it today. for NowsDAO, this is popping up here again.
Yeah, I was doing a little prioritization.
Got it. Okay.
I think that Origin Network and Alliance Accelerator are two top priorities probably. And then there's a couple things that aren't in here, which are from the product side that I should add over, including the rewards flow. But we already kind of worked on this a little bit. So I mean, we already kind of gave a report on that. But I will put it into the this week section.
Okay. Cool. So next up is our bi-monthly newsletter. Ongoing Coffee Crusher. What's the status of our current newsletter?
So March is just doing some edits based on feedback that you and Lynx gave him. So we should have that
and
very
will that
shortly.
be going out this week, you think?
It's going to tie in with, because we want to tie it in with the video work that Vernus is working on, Vernus and Andy. So it's going to go when that is ready to go.
Okay, got it. Cool. So next up is update the strategy document. And Lynx, I heard you mention earlier that this has not been done quite yet.
Yeah, that's true. It has not been done. Basically, I need to carve out some time where I'm just thinking about higher level stuff, and I have not done that yet.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So next up is updating the website. So currently, Andy, are you here with us today?
No, Andy's not here. I did talk to him last week right after this meeting. I gave him some copy, I gave him some updates, and then he was working with Brett and Zudi after that to make some more updates. In general, the design that he had was good, but it wasn't following the wireframes. So I kind of made him aware of how he could do the wireframes, and I wrote a bunch of copy for him.
Okay. So it needs adjusting. Fit in with wireframes. And update copy. Oh, okay. Right. So next one, update cash flow for POC. Arcusti, how are we doing on this?
So I met with Crypto Dad last Thursday. It kind of went over everything that I'd been working on the POC cash flow and other reconciliations and stuff I did for the balance sheet. So I kind of gave that to him for like more thoughts and ideas. So I kind of didn't ping him or anything over the weekend, the holiday weekend, but I'll kind of follow up with him on that.
Okay. So that's one update as we onboarded CryptoDad. Well done, Lynx, on getting him on board. And well done, Arcusti, for syncing up with him. That is awesome. So Orange DAO Fellowship. The only thing we need to do here is that should be ready to go. Therefore, I'm just going to use the POC deck. We'll use POC deck to submit.
Yeah, there's two POC decks there. One is like POC deck 1.1. You probably want to use that. I'll just double check, but yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the one that I've got. I have POC deck 1.1 partner incentives up. Oh, I've got one that says partner incentives update. That has not been added on.
It's because you had like a partner deck, right? So use something like that, but make it relevant for Orange DAO, which is, I would say, more investors than partners.
Yes, yeah. So the 1.1 is right. Okay, so yeah, I just need to update that, and I think that still says bankless card, so that's where I need to update that. So yeah, I'm gonna update that and then get that submitted. We still have a little bit of time to squeak it through. Again, next round we're going to discuss that. That's been moved down the priority list. Find a new on-ramp provider. This one is currently just in limbo. Nothing major happening right now. The MISO team, I think they would be ready to meet with us when we're ready to meet with them. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this, Lynx? How much of a priority is this for us right now?
I mean, it's not as important as Orange DAO and Alliance and Origin and all these other things. So, I mean, we can even put this into the next up if you're not going to be working on it this week.
Yeah, I think we can probably add this into next up simply because it's we still need to decide how we're going to implement this without stepping on our bank's toes.
Well, I mean, specifically for on-ramping, if we have like a way to set up just on-ramping for our monthly needs, for our monthly reward needs, we could do that to start with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not worry about that whole crypto spend thing yet. We basically, I mean, so to share the conversation I had with Anna Thinker, in general, Transcard has advised us never to talk about crypto. And so I changed a button in our app to crypto load coming soon to an article, why doesn't bCard allow crypto load yet? And the short answer is, if we get enough transaction volume, then the bank is going to be like, sure, you can do crypto load. We don't care, right? Like, it's just because we're small right now and we're not producing a lot of value for them, that if we were to say something like that, it's safer for them to just be like, okay, well, we don't want to work with you then. So in general, we're not going to be supporting crypto load until we're able to push something like 10 million in transaction volume. When we do that, then we can start to talk about increasing our transaction volume in some ways, and that could include crypto load. So in general, everyone in the payment industry looks at transaction volume as like the number that they're trying to do. Everyone just wants more transaction volume going through their systems. So even 10 million in a month is small potatoes to these companies, right? Like I'm part of another team that's pushing something like that can push like 20 million monthly, and even they got cut off by their provider because they were too crypto. So all this to say that we really need to be careful about this, but in terms of, that's for crypto load, so like off-ramping, but for on-ramping, which we need for our rewards, well, we'll still need a provider. And if we're paying 1.5%, it's not a bad deal for us at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. All right, so yeah, that's been pushed to next up, and we'll focus on the corporate side then, rather than the consumer side.
Cool.
So let's see. In terms of Transcendence, we're just waiting to release the Noggles Bull video, and then we'll be able to mark that as complete. Partner rev share docs. This is something that's been started, and I haven't done anything with it yet. I'm actually going to move this to next up as well. That's kind of integrated into the community funnel. So next up is The World Needs Communities, which is an article, and Links. Is that something that you think you'll work on this week?
It's not me who's working on it.
No, it's me. It's me. So yes, I will work on it this week.
Okay. All right. So I will copy that. And next up is video content. We already heard from Rainus on this one. And so coming soon. Lighting fires under Rainus's bum. Come on, Rainus. We got it, bro. You got this, homie. So we got a bunch of things here in next up. We're coming up to the end of the hour pretty soon here. So maybe we should leave that for now, unless anybody wants to discuss anything specific from there. I'll take that as a no. Okay, so that completes our Ask Perspective. Back over to our notes. And what did we ship last week? So Links closed 2 of 6 users with the nouns bug, and that was where people were receiving the wrong card, I believe. Tom helped on individual users and also released fixes for the bugs. Links and Tom met with Transcard last week to figure out the bug, and that seems like it's all been relieved now. Tom has released a rewards flow. Links users tested and gave feedback.
Sorry, just a quick question. Oh, just a quick question about that bug. So what had happened there was we made our way all the way through early round testing, and none of our users had actually received the Nouns card, physical card be sent out, even though some people had selected it in app. And so that was a miss on my part of actually following up with the users that ordered that Nouns card to make sure that they had received the correct one. So if I had noticed that earlier, I could have caught that bug earlier in the pipeline. So I feel like that's a miss on my part. But I think that Lynx did a really good job of sort of coordinating us towards getting it resolved as well.
Okay. Well, easily done, Tom. We got a lot on your plate, so fully understandable, and well done, you two, for sorting that out.
Yeah, the question that I did have was that of the new users that have been ordering the Nouns card, I suppose they should just start receiving their cards that they ordered this week. So as soon as anybody sees a physical Nouns card, like in the wild, or like somebody mentions that they have one or something like that, just let me know. I'd love the confirmation that they're getting the right one.
Yeah, we went over it a bunch of times with Transcard, but if you see it on social media or anything else, definitely let us know. Just to stop our beating hearts.
Okay.
Pixar didn't happen.
Exactly.
All right, great. And Lynx, you were going to mention about the users tested and gave feedback.
Yeah. So pretty much everyone here who has a card, if you could go in and try to claim a reward on production. Is that right, Tom? On production or staging?
Yeah, for sure. If you have production rewards to claim, you can definitely claim them. If you do not, then you feel free to log into the staging one, and we can give you a little guidance on how to do some test transactions loaded up to the new staging account for some test claims.
I just realized that staging has the latest code, though, so it actually doesn't really matter for what we really want is people to test staging, right? Is that correct, or?
Yeah, for sure. I think that the majority of the tweaks that we have on staging are on production, but certainly the next round of fixes that we'll look at implementing will only be on staging for now.
Okay.
Yeah, the more testing either platform, I would say, is good.
That's good to know. Just FYI, I was testing on prod yesterday when I sent you all that feedback.
Yep, I think it's pretty close, but I don't think we're too far behind. We're like maybe a week behind in commits, right? But I don't think the majority of them are just fixing what we were working on with that bug and new community stuff. So.
Yeah, and in general, if you want to test on staging, you can access the debug button by going to the home screen and tapping the top left corner of the screen behind the feedback button 10 times. That'll open a debug menu, and you can send yourself a bunch of transactions, which will include some rewards. Is that right, Tom, for like a testing flow?
That's absolutely right, for sure. And kind of the cool thing is now that we have multiple communities to select as well, you can play around with that flow on staging by doing the onboarding, making sure everything works out well for you there. Doing the sort of that, as Link mentioned, that 10-tap debug menu thing to give yourself some test transactions. Then you can also go in and you can change your community and then also send yourself some more test transactions and see if you're going to be collecting the correct tokens for Origin or Nogs, whichever community you select.
Where do we tap 10 times?
Oh, top right corner in the very, very top.
And that is from
Top right.
From the user settings.
From the right from the home screen.
Oh, right. Oh,
On the production.
On staging.
Oh, I got it. Up in the very top corner above, give feedback.
It's a bit flaky, but if you keep hammering that corner, you eventually get there.
Smash it. All right. Okay. This will add a set of transactions to your account. This is a test feature and will not be available in production. Your app will be reloaded when concluded. All right. Perfect.
My overly verbose dialogues.
Thank you for that. So next up in ship, Lynx paid a Transcard invoice. Nice.
Yeah, just RPC, just FYI, they sent me an invoice for March's transactions because they had skipped sending that. So I paid 2 invoices this month, one for April, one for March.
All right. Lynx reviewed Cores, aka Corrupted Pineapples, PCI compliance article. Links migrated our Notion and invited people to the new Discord. Nice. Yeah, the new Notion looking good. Make sure you don't add stuff to the old Notion because we want to be using all the new Notion now. And Thinker and Links met with Pool together. And we are handling requests from Blue Trees and DAU, which is daily active users.
Yeah, DAO. I'm not really sure what they're about. I just got that message this morning. I told them to fill in the form.
I thought you were gonna say I told them to fill in the form. Never mind. And he updated the new landing page design. Links provided feedback and copy. Good stuff. Links sent out patron update for May. Yes, he certainly did. And Coffee Crusher March worked on community email update. So that pretty much rounds out what we shipped. Big week. More to come. In terms of discussion items, we're at the top of the hour now, but is there anything anybody wanted to add in here or discuss while we're all gathered? If not, that's fine. You can roast. Hey.
Hey, sorry to do it at the end of the hour. Just quick question on what might be a bug. What is the best place to report that? Would that be in the bCard server under either the team user testing, or where should that be? I have a very specific thing that very short to describe, but I don't know if you guys want to hear it or not. But if you want me just to report that, where is the best place to do that?
Probably through give feedback button within the app. Is that right?
Oh, okay.
Links, is that what you would prefer?
Yeah, drop an email support at getbcard.io would work too.
Okay.
Do you read that?
And just real
do you
quick,
read that email, Tom?
I shall start. I thought Blue Bear was monitoring the email, right?
He is monitoring it, but like I think like for specifically things like, oh, I'm testing the rewards flow and I'm testing it on beta, I'd rather people just potentially just drop their feedback on Discord so you could see it, Tom. Like the closer it is to the person who can actually fix it is better. Like if it has to go through Blue Bear, it's adding one extra hop.
Agreed,
Right.
absolutely.
Do you want that
Keep
in
it
the
on
bDAO
Discord
server or the bCard server? Sorry. Where do you want that? bCard server or the bCard channels in the bDAO server? Just so you know, I know where I should put that.
We're doing all that in the bCard server now, right?
Yeah, so let me explain about the bCard server. Basically, Blue Bear had created it for support, and he added a team section, and then all of a sudden, on the bDAO server, Andy, Rainus, March couldn't access the bDAO server because the guest pass bot was all flaking out. So I invited everyone to the bCard server, and I don't think it's a bad thing for us what I do in the bCard server is I created a new user testing channel. So what I'll do is for each feature that we're testing, Tom, like specifically that you're testing on beta before it goes to prod, and we want the team to test it, under user testing in team, let's create a thread for each of those features. So I will turn Corrupted Pineapple's thing that he just added, and I'll change it into a thread that's called Rewards Flow. And now, Drost, you should be able to see this thread. Actually, did I invite you to the server? I'm pretty sure I did.
I'm in there, yeah.
Okay, so Drost.
The only other thing I would add is that the themes section in the bCard server has a role-specific requirement. So you have to have the team member role in order to see any of those channels.
Yeah, and that's legit. The one thing that's not true is for the team start here. I actually allowed everyone to see that. Does that make sense, Blue Bear? Anyways, we can talk about that. But yes, if you're not able to see the team section, reach out to me or Blue Bear or NF Thinker. All three of us have the ability to add you.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Perfect.
As well, Blue Bear, just so that you know, I've been working with Nauman, who's the kind of sometimes contributor here, and they wanted to work on the member onboarding portion. So we're going to revive that Bankless Academy onboarding quiz that we can do, which has been set up for us. It'll be free to use, and we'll be able to essentially onboard people by sending them to the new Discord, telling them to fill out that quiz if they want to become a team member, and then they'll get a credential at the end, and that credential hopefully we can then use to verify them as a team member in that Discord, so then they will get access to the team chat and the team channels. Does that work for you?
Yeah, absolutely. That makes perfect sense.
Okay, so we'll have to tweak it a little bit. I'm planning on meeting Nauman hopefully on Friday. I've been pushing it back because I've had a bit of a crazy week with my kids being off school all week, and there was a holiday here on Monday. So yeah, we can try and push that forward and implement that and go from there. All right. Yeah, anything else that anybody wants to add in before we knock it on the head today?
I mean, I would like to say how thankful I am to everyone for being here and putting in all their work. I think we're like making progress every week. We're getting to the point now where I can dig down deep into some of these product questions, which is actually my expertise. So, we're getting to the point where my expertise is actually useful. So that's good. I appreciate y'all.
All right. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you all as well, and all the support that we're giving each other here. This is super dope. We are a killer kick-ass team, and we're going to make it work. We're sustainable, we're powerful, and together we thrive. So yeah, great. Thanks again, everybody, for another fantastic week, and we will see you next week, we'll see some of you tomorrow at the product ops and communications meetings. I have to jump to another meeting now, Lynx and our Akusti, but maybe we can just sync up async regarding those numbers for the Alliance. And then I also had another question for you, Lynx. Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks, everyone.
Easy, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
Cheers,
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.